Good afternoon and welcome to my hobby table once again. And as you can see on the table, this may look kind of strange because it's the overhead view, but I've got my vise set up that head from that OSFS 61 four-stroke engine here. And I know it's hard to see right here, but this is the valve spring compression or valve spring removal, valve removal tool that Bill had sent me, but I've got it clamped in a vise as opposed to just being able to hold it like this. So I got this set up here, set such that I've got a camera right here that I'll show in a picture, positioned and focused right on this area here where I will be showing you how this tool works and how it depresses the valve spring so that you can remove the spring retainer. So this is the engine. This is the portion of the tool that actually goes and contacts the bottom of the valve. Let's see if I can get this in that the bottom of the valve. And then of course this ring portion here will encapsulate around the top of the valve. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to fixture this in place. But I'm going to show you that I can actually do this operation as
some updates available
as shown here, because, and maybe this video is as much for Bill as it is for me, because of the fact that I'm trying to shoot a video and there's just no way I could actually do this operation in this orientation, because I'm just trying to get this one camera right here set up so that you can actually see the action and operation of the tool, but it's not in an orientation, and I'll show you the orientation from my perspective of what you're seeing on this other camera, and you'll understand that it's just not possible for me to actually extract that retainer on video because I can't really see what's happening. It's like trying to watch a TV show and trying to do this through a mirror. I mean, I'm moving this pick around and I'm looking at the viewfinder on this camera. I'm not actually looking at this. So what happens is I've got it fixtured up here and I'm just going to screw this thing down, and you can see all it's doing is depressing the spring. So in theory, if you look at this spring retainer, this little C-clip retainer here is ready to be pushed out. And I'm not going to push it out because I'm trying to make a video here, and if I push it out it could get lost in the case there and it would just be counterproductive to trying to make a video. So I just want you to see that this is how the tool works, and like I said, this video is probably almost as much for Bill as it is for me. I'm almost beginning to wonder if this ring here that depresses or encapsulates the retainer and depresses the spring down, if it's too thick this way, if I could get my fingers in there this way, because it seems like I have to depress it all the way. I mean, right now it's pretty much completely compressed. The spring is completely compressed, and I believe that retainer would be free to move out if I could manipulate it here. But I can't get my head around that side to actually see it. So this is kind of a blind operation for me. So like I said, I can't really do this operation on video, but it does in theory work. Now if I position this vertically so that I can get my head in there, sure, this might work, but even with these little tweezers, I'm not sure that there's enough room to manipulate this. Now obviously the ideal situation is to rotate this retainer around so that the opening is back here, the direction. The opening is back in this, well, now my hand's in the way, this side here. Damn, this is tough to look at this like this. This side here, so that I could pull it out. This, God, that's tough to do. So I could pull it out, turn that spring or that clip around 180 degrees and extract it towards this part here. So it's not in the right orientation right now to actually be extracted. So I'd have to rotate it around and then pull it out. But even then, trying to get in there with these tweezers is kind of like playing that game Operation, except on a hell of a lot smaller scale. So I still say that the best way to do this would be to use something magnetic to pull that out, and maybe use the tweezers to put it in, maybe. But I mean, the other thing is maybe you just loosen this thing up such that you can use the edge of this lip here to just lay that thing on and slide it into place like I did with the other one. I don't really think that manipulating this thing with tweezers is a feasible thing for my ability. I'm not sure that I have the manual dexterity to do that. Maybe other people do, but it's not for me. So yes, this tool I think will work. But damn, I mean, this is just not an easy thing to do anyway. I mean, that's why I seriously don't like doing it on these pre-surpass heads, because everything is so obscured. And like I said, I have to have my head coming in from this angle so I can see what the hell's going on. And right now my head is at the other angle looking at it. I'm just looking at this through the viewfinder. So this is just it's a challenging thing to try to shoot a video of. So you're not going to see me actually do this in operation. And in fact, I'm not going to do it. There's no reason for this particular engine for me to stress myself out and do that. But that's how that tool operates. Let me take this thing out here and I can show you if you missed the first. So this is what the tool looks like. And that's about the distance it needs to be open to get in and on one of these things. And so you're seeing that on a very zoomed in means. So, I mean, yes, I think this tool will work, but, you know, in all honesty, I hope I don't ever have to use it too often, because these pre-surpass heads are just a real pain in the butt. You just don't want to have one of those where you have to replace a valve or spring, or even remove the valves or springs to clean them, because it's just really takes a lot of skill, a lot of manual dexterity. It takes a good tool, which this is a good tool. I mean, I've done it without the tool, but it takes a lot more effort to do it. And honestly, I'm not sure I've ever done it on one of these types of heads without a tool like this, because of the fact that they're just so recessed, because I would only have an open end or a box end wrench to try to jam in there. And unless you had one that you could actually shape to a 90-degree angle and try to get in there, I mean, it's a tough thing to do. So this is just not one of those things that is a very pleasant engine servicing task to do. And one of the reasons I really ask for people to send me pictures of their engine and tell me the history of their engines before I agree to service them, because if there's a chance that something like this has to be done, I may exercise my option to say no and simply choose not to, just because of the fact that either it's beyond my confidence skill level, or it's beyond the ability for me to get a replacement part should I do something and damage something. So that's our video today for showing Bill's latest and greatest bow spring compression removal tool.